Democratic Party electors met right up there in the Senate chambers. They are official, they are certified, and they voted for Joe Biden. But Georgia Republicans, they met at exactly the same time, right behind those closed doors. They are not official, not certified. They still met. They chose Donald Trump.
And their actions did not go unnoticed. Those 16 Georgia Republicans who cosplayed as Trump electors, they were informed last summer that they are targets in a Fulton County criminal probe. District Attorney Fani Willis has been largely focused on Donald Trump and his efforts to subvert the 2020 election. And today we learned that some of those fake electors have been offered immunity, although not all of them apparently knew that. Today, Ms. Willis filed a motion seeking to disqualify an attorney named Kimberly Burroughs Dubrow. Kimberly Burroughs Dubrow currently represents 10 of the fake electors in this case, which is a lot of fake electors to represent. We learned in the filing that the judge ordered Ms. Dubrow to have a conversation with her clients about a potential immunity deal last year. And D.A. Willis's office claims that, contrary to what was said in court, Ms. Dubrow and her then co-counsel Holly Pearson apparently did not share that information with at least some of those 10 fake electors. In a statement that was released within the past hour, Ms. Dubrow called the DA's motion baseless, false, and offensive and added, "I have ethically and professionally represented my clients at all times, and I will continue to do so." So there remains a very big question about what kind of counsel Ms. Dubrow was offering her clients. And then there is this. The filing also claims that in recent meetings with Ms. Willis's office, some of the fake electors accused another fake elector, one of the clients of Ms. Dubrow, they accused that elector of further crimes. Now, what those further crimes are, we do not know. Something may be beyond what Ms. Willis has investigated thus far, which is, well, now you have my attention. And the DA says that that assertion creates a conflict of interest. Some clients who may be cooperating with the DA's office are levying charges against another client who is presumably not cooperating with the DA's office. And all of them are being represented by Kimberly Burroughs Dubrow. You can see how that could create some issues if those defendants all have the same lawyer. The DA's office says that Dubrow's representation of those 10 false electors has become an impracticable and ethical mess. And oh, by the way, Kimberly Burroughs Dubrow is reportedly being paid by the Georgia Republican Party. There are reports that she received over $200,000 from the state GOP. Joining us now is Michael Moore, former U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Georgia. Michael, thanks for being here. It's always good to see you. I wonder if you are reading this the same way, that some of these fake electors may be cooperating with the DA's office. Is that what we should infer from this?
Well, I'm glad to be with you. I'm not sure that I think it's necessarily a cooperation at this point. I mean, we can tell from the motion that was filed that there was some interview that was given and the lawyer was present. And if these folks are saying, well, we didn't know about immunity, that tells me that there's no deal on the table and there may not be a cooperation effort there. One thing to kind of keep in mind is this is really the second time that the district attorney's office has tried to disqualify the lawyers for this same group of people. And it's getting to be a little bit like when you run into a brick wall and you can't get around it. The only thing you can do is tear it down. And it seems like maybe that's what is going on here. So I can't tell if they're cooperating. I think that there's some language in the pleading that makes me, question, what the real conflict may be. And one of those things deals with the additional crime that you talked about. We don't know if that simply means one of the fake electors saying, well, they signed it twice and I only signed it once. Well, that would be a separate crime if that's the case. That could arguably be additional criminal conduct that one may be saying they weren't involved in. So we just don't know a lot yet. But the timing of this is interesting, given that things have been so quiet in the Fulton County case since the New York indictment.